My name is Lindsay Partin, and I have been in prison for the last 3 years for something I didn't do. I love Hannah very much, and I want justice for her too, but this isn't it.
3-year-old Hannah Wesche was dropped off at her babysitter, Lindsay Partin's home. The little girl asked her dad for extra kisses before he headed off to work. Not long after, Lindsay made this call.
I babysit kids.
Yes.
And he just dropped her off, and all of a sudden she's sad. She was pretty bad yesterday, and she's been fine. And then all of a sudden he dropped off this morning, and she walked in and she kind of passed out.
Okay.
I don't know.
Are you with her now?
Yes, and so is her dad. I called her. Yes, hurry. She's bad. There's something wrong.
Okay. Is she awake right now?
Yes.
No, stay on the line with me. I have to ask you a few questions while my partner gets the medics dispatched. Okay, is she breathing?
Yes, in and out.
Okay.
Yes, in and out. I don't know what's wrong.
Okay, is her breathing completely normal?
No, yes, almost gone. Hurry, please.
Okay, they're on the way right now. I'm just asking you a few questions so while they're on the way.
Let her lay down. I think it's better. I don't know what's better.
Okay, lay her down on her back.
Out.
Lay her down on her back and let her head tilt back. Okay. Is she still on, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
No, she's
Okay.
Can't wake up. Yes, there she is.
Okay. Is she on her back right now?
Yes, she's on her back. She's on herself.
Okay. Kneel right next to her and look in her mouth for any food or vomit.
Her daddy's here too. She just gasped.
Okay. Is there anything in her mouth?
No, there's nothing in her mouth.
Okay. Now place your hand on her forehead and other hand on under her neck. Then tilt her head back.
Okay.
Put your ear next to her mouth. Can you feel or hear anything?
Yes.
Yes. Is she breathing?
I feel some air coming out of her mouth. Yes, she's doing her breath.
Okay. Just a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's okay. She's breathing. She's okay.
Okay. Is her breathing effective?
Yeah. Actually, I mean, she's still breathing. I gotta put clothes on. Oh my God. I cannot believe this is happening. She's really bad yesterday when we were playing here in the garage.
Okay. I want you to stay right with her and make sure her head is carefully tilted back and check her breathing often.
Sir, I just had a robe on. I'm trying to throw clothes on really quick.
That's good. That's okay.
Oh God.
All right. Can you give me the phone to someone who's with her?
I'm literally throwing my shirt on as I'm running back to the garage. She dropped her off.
Is she in the garage right now?
Yes.
Okay. Is the garage open?
Yes, the back door is open. Come around the side.
Okay. What's your name?
Lindsay.
Lindsay, what's your last name?
Partin.
Partin?
Yes.
Okay, what's your phone number, Lindsay? Is that her crying in the background?
No, that's my little one.
Okay. Okay, are you with her now?
Yeah. Okay, I'm right.
Ma'am?
She okay? No, she's not okay.
Lindsay, what's going on? Okay, is her head tilted back and is she on her back?
Yes, her head is back. Her back.
Okay. And there's nothing in her mouth, correct?
No, there's not.
Hey,
wake up. You're okay.
Okay, just make sure her head is tilted back. That will assure that her airway is open.
Breathe. Hey.
Okay.
Come
So
on.
the medic is on the way, and we've got the deputy on the way as well.
All right.
And so the deputy will get there and help you out too. Okay, just make sure that she's flat on her back and that her head is tilted back.
Hey.
That's going to open her airway for her.
Breathe.
Make sure that there's nothing under her head.
There's nothing under her head. Breathe.
Okay. Flat on her back.
Hannah. Hey.
Hey.
Is she changing color at all?
No.
Not yet.
No? Okay.
Hey. It's okay. Please, okay. There you go. There you go, honey. There you go.
Dispatch Oxford this way to help on that.
Okay. Is that her in the background?
Her breathing, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Correct.
All right. They're on their way to you.
Hey, what's the matter?
Fucking shock or something.
I don't know what could be wrong with her.
I don't either. She was fine. We just walked in the house.
She got up, brushed her teeth. I don't know.
Lindsay, it's okay. They're on the way.
We just walked in the house and just she's okay. Keep breathing, my little love bucket.
Okay. Is she still laying on her back?
Yes.
Okay, and is her head still tilted back?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I know. All of a sudden I was like, Hannah, are you okay? Just get up, girl. And she just laid there.
Hannah. Oh, she got a face for it.
Yeah, she did on that
Hey.
toy right there.
Hey.
Parkinson.
Hey. Look at Daddy. Hannah. Look up. Easy.
You're okay. I love you.
Hannah.
I love you, Buttercup.
Hey.
Hey, wake up. Here we go. Here we go.
Is she waking up now?
No.
No, she's still
No.
doing the same thing, but
There you go. Look at Daddy.
Okay,
Yeah.
so are you in the garage right now? And the garage door's open?
They pull in the back. They pull in the front of the driveway. Just come to the right of the house, around to the back. We're in the back door. The back door's open.
Okay. Back door's open?
Yeah. To the right of the house.
Okay, I'll let the deputy and the medics know that.
Good girl. Good girl. Deep breath. Deep breath. Say, oh. Come on. Hey. Hey.
I don't understand what's happening.
Breathe. Hey.
Okay, I'll let you know when they get there.
Okay.
No. Open your eyes.
Breathe. Open your eyes, baby.
How's she doing now?
Same.
Same?
Hey.
It's okay. It's okay. I love you. No. God, no. I don't even.
Hey.
She's fine. She walked in and said, Daddy, I want to lay back down. Let's go on the couch. And started to take her jacket off.
Okay, it looks like the medic just showed up.
All right.
Is someone able to go out there and flag them down?
She just went inside, and she's maybe going that way.
Okay.
Keep running down. Hey. Yeah, she's on her way out. Hannah.
Okay.
Look. There you go.
Okay, tell me when they're right there with her.
All right. Hannah. Look at Daddy. What's the matter? Hey. What's the matter? Look at Daddy. Do you look at Daddy? Baby. What the hell are they waiting on?
They're backing in. You're okay.
She's just not moving.
I know. I don't understand. This is all of a sudden she went.
Okay, they've got to get their equipment ready.
I know. I'm just scared.
It's okay. They're going to be there.
They're here. They're backing
Okay.
in.
Hannah, look at Daddy. What's the matter? Hey.
I swear she's in shock. I don't
Hey.
understand.
Breathe. Breathe.
Okay, just keep her flat on her back and her head tilted back until the medics get there.
We are.
Okay.
Hey. Hey.
They are here.
Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and disconnect now.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Hannah was rushed to the hospital with severe head trauma. From the start, police were confident that it was either Lindsay or her father, Jason Wesche, who had harmed the little girl. Both were questioned within hours of the call. Her father was interviewed at the hospital, and the babysitter was interviewed at the police station. When the 36-year-old was interrogated, she agreed to speak to them without an attorney twice.
I have a couple questions I want to ask you.
Sure.
And listen to me. And I don't know if since you've been in here talking to them, because I've been meeting with my boss, if you've been talking about an attorney or anything. So I just want to make sure we're because I have a couple more questions I want to ask you, but I want to make sure you are still well aware of your rights.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to go
I didn't do
through.
anything wrong.
And I realize that you should. Right. Okay, but I want to go through them one more time real fast, okay? Just to make sure I'm good at asking you a couple questions. You understand your rights as I read them to you? Are you okay answering a couple more questions knowing your rights?
Yes.
Okay.
Lindsay also willingly handed over her phone. During the first interview, she spoke about what had happened that day.
I'm honestly in shock. It was literally 30 seconds to a minute. Him dropping her off and us walking in the house. And she collapsed. I hadn't even shut the door behind me yet.
At one stage, it sounded like Lindsay had messed up the timeline, but the detective was wrong this time.
6:52 a.m. So let's give him benefit of the doubt, 10 minutes. 7:02 a.m. When do you think that 911 call was placed?
I don't know.
8:20.
Are you serious?
1 hour and 18 minutes later.
Pull up my calls when the 911 was called. because it was 7:20. I called 911 at 7:02 and him at 7:01.
Well, I'm looking at the CAD report wrong.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Yeah,
You are right.
I called right away. I'm like, there's no way that it was an hour. It was right away. I mean, it happened within seconds.
After an hour and a half, she was allowed to go home. Presuming her involvement was cleared, the babysitter went to the hospital but was denied access to Hannah's ward. Jason told Lindsay that the 3-year-old had suffered an aneurysm but would be fine. But at 9 a.m. the next day, the woman was arrested. In that interrogation, Lindsay's story grew and changed over and over again.
So when she walked in the when she walked in the back door, the garage door, in the back of the house.
When is this?
Thursday.
Thursday.
When she looked up at me and went to take her jacket off, and she fell on that side, the other side, and there was like a pink cart laying there, and I think she screwed her face on that, but I'm not sure.
She wasn't on top of anything, she was walking.
Well, so what happened? So say this is the door.
Yeah.
She walks right here. There was like one of those push carts that you can like serve things off of. It's like a
Serving
cart. Yeah. And she fell like that, and there was a wheel. I think she hit that.
Okay.
But I don't
She
know
wasn't
that.
on top of anything, she wasn't climbing or nothing, she was
No,
walking.
she literally just caught.
Okay.
How did you move her and into what position did you move her
I
into?
really wasn't sure what was happening, so I kind of picked her up, and I was like, Hannah, are you okay? Hannah, are you okay? Get up! I thought maybe she like tripped over her pants or something, because sometimes she'll try to like take off her shoes while she's standing up.
Yeah.
And she didn't get up, and I'm like, are you okay? What's up? And she was like not saying anything to me.
And you're shaking her to get her to come to. How are you shaking her?
Not shaking her, just like, Hannah, are you okay? Hannah, are you okay? Hannah, are you okay?
Trying to
Like,
wake her?
Okay. So when you're down, you were down on 1 knee, 2 knees? Over top of her?
yeah, I mean, I was down,
You
yeah.
had both arms under her? Or did you have her shoulders?
When I was holding her, I was holding her like this, and when I laid her down, I wasn't holding her at all, I was on the phone. When I would say her name, she would look at me.
Yeah.
She was responding to me. I just couldn't get her to like say anything. And then Jason got there and picked her up off my floor and took her out to the couch in the garage and laid her there and waited for the paramedics to come around the back.
So when she fell off the train,
Yes, she did. Yep,
she hit her face.
yep.
Now you're saying it's the left side.
Yeah, I was thinking, because she fell to the left. I don't know why,
Not the right.
not the right.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, fine, so
I've never been good, Ross right, Ross left.
It seems that Lindsay answered the questions under the presumption that the 3-year-old's father was being investigated.
You see that bruise?
Mm-hmm.
What's that kind of look like? Is it older? Older, yeah. See this here?
Mm-hmm.
That looks, what would you say?
Older.
To me, that looks brand new.
Oh, okay.
That looks newer than even.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
So what it kind of looks like is that these are all from a different time.
Yeah, I don't think that I really don't think that she's been hurt.
You know?
No, I honestly don't. In my gut intuition, I don't think that he's a bad guy. I really don't.
The more the detectives knuckled down on Lindsay, the more her story changed. After they told her that, according to the medical professionals, Hannah's injury would have to have been immediate. It couldn't be from the day before.
There's no doubt. It's not a question of, well, maybe it happened. There's no doubt. It absolutely happened during this time. And the only person that was there was a couple of kids and you. You know, I can't imagine if I would have accidentally done something to cause this. Whether it was an accident or not,
Yeah.
something happened under your care. What accident caused this?
I opened up the door, she was coming through, and she stood on that concrete step. And she stood up and looked up at me and did say, I want a donut and couch, and then collapsed.
Appreciate you being honest there. I mean, you know, it's an accident.
I opened up the door, and like, can I go out and take your jacket, or blanket? And when I went to take her blanket, it slipped on the blanket, underneath her foot, and I thought she was having a seizure. I didn't think that was her. I thought someone had taken her.
Listen, that's not what happened.
It is, I promise.
No, that's not what happened.
It is.
The doctor said when this injury occurred, she was instant. There was a more severe accident that happened that just like this accident, you're afraid to tell us for some reason. Okay?
I'm not afraid to tell you anything. So I slipped on her blanket when I opened the door, and we both went down, tangled up, and when I opened up the door, it got tangled and I slipped.
So are you on the concrete floor, or are you on the step, or are you on the top step?
I was getting ready, I was trying to step up to go inside, I lost my balance. I'm so sorry.
9 days later, Hannah died. Hannah was born into challenging circumstances. Her mother was a drug addict, using while she was pregnant, which complicated the baby's health. Then, Hannah's father faced homelessness and financial difficulties after losing his job, leading to periods where he had to sleep in his car. Hannah would stay at his brother's house. He eventually secured a construction job in Hanover Township, working for Lindsay's partner, TJ Smith. Jason managed to find a new home, but had to work 12 hours a day to provide for his family. To make the long hours work, he would drop Hannah off at the next door neighbor, Lindsay's home, sometimes as early as 6 a.m. The babysitter had 2 children of her own and looked after 2 other young children. She fed Hannah dinner, took her to dance class, and sometimes even washed her clothes. At the time, Lindsay was also working as a bookkeeper for her father and as a Mary Kay consultant. With the charges upgraded to murder, investigators doubled down on the weeks leading up to the incident. Most notably, Lindsay had been frustrated with Jason over delayed babysitting payments of only $30 per day, and with Hannah after the little girl dumped a ketchup bottle down the toilet. They believe that on March 8th, she hit the breaking point and harmed the child.
Hannah is more wild than that.
Okay.
She's a dad, that's all she has. This is where I see the difference. When TJ gets home, it's that this morning times a million.
Right, yeah.
Because they haven't seen him. He's the fun guy. I'm not the fun guy.
Right.
You know, and I feel like that's the kind of the way it is with her and him.
March 6th, March 7th, and March 8th of 2018 are important dates in this case because those were the last few days of 3-year-old, 32-pound, 3-foot-tall Hannah Wesche's life. There's only 2 people that can tell us what happened here, Hannah and this defendant. And Hannah's not here to tell us what happened.
In April 2019, Lindsay went to trial on charges of murder, involuntary manslaughter, and child endangering. Over the 7 days, several key findings and evidence were presented to the jury. Some were provided by the accused killer herself. The trial began with the prosecution presenting a compelling case, anchored by medical expert testimony saying that Hannah's injuries could not have occurred through an accidental fall.
Do you have an opinion to a reasonable degree of medical certainty as to whether or not Hannah could have been walking or talking or behaving in a normal fashion after receiving the injuries that resulted in her death?
She could not. She would be neurologically abnormal right away, probably unresponsive within moments. This is really serious. From ground level, a simple fall cannot explain this injury. This is much too great a force.
The defense highlighted that Hannah could have had a lucid interval after the injury, which might not align with the timeline. Instead, saying the toddler hurt herself while she was playing 2 days before the critical incident. Lindsay claimed there were warning signs that something was wrong with the toddler's health. The babysitter recalled telling Jason that his daughter often had headaches, sometimes so severe she had to nap.
Monday, we went to dance, and she didn't want to dance. She wanted to sit with my mom, and she was really quiet. My mom was like, I was trying to talk to her, and I was giving her, peanut butter crackers, and she wasn't really, responding to me. And she's been quieter this week.
Okay.
So, I don't know. And she has been complaining of headaches the past couple weeks. And to me, since I've known her, her balance and stability has always been off. Well, I feel like her legs have always been I don't know, like how that looked at. I don't know how to make.
She's not coordinated.
She's not coordinated. Yeah.
The father allegedly said it was just allergies, and Lindsay could give Hannah Tylenol. Once was 5 days before her death. On another occasion, the babysitter told the police about these incidents the second time she was interviewed.
So you know, you're very aware of some bruises.
Oh yeah. I look like pebble bruises from when she fell. She literally, so she had on cowboy boots with the heels.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly where she fell, and on her chin. She didn't even, her hand didn't even hit. Like what she was doing, and I can show you how she was running like this, and then looked back and went like that. Literally.
Did she slide? Or?
No, it was just bam. Bam. Yeah. She got right back up and kept running. I said, hey, are you okay? I'm okay. She was standing up on it.
Yeah.
Doing the surfing thing.
Yeah.
And it went out from the side and she went down like that. Her arms back.
Yeah.
And I freaked out and ran out there. I'm like, are you okay? She jumped back up and she said, yeah, I'm fine.
What was she complaining?
Headache. Her head hurt.
These could explain the bruises found on the toddler. In contrast, the babysitter's search for how to treat and hide bruising was highlighted. It begged the question of why Lindsay would want to hide bruises if they hadn't happened in her care. Her response: she looked it up in an attempt to care for the child after unintended injuries. Lindsay's attorney told the court that on March 8th, Jason brought Hannah to the residence with a blanket over her head, her hood pulled up, and the child collapsed 30 seconds later. While focusing on the father, the defense pointed out that he had provided conflicting accounts about the days before the incident.
Wednesday, March 7th of 2018, which would be the night before, or the day before.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall what time you picked Hannah up that day?
It was a late night that night. It was about 7:00 p.m.
What did you do after that?
After that, I had a friend of mine stay at my house, and I dropped him back off at his apartment that night.
You remember telling detectives you went to go get milk?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Did you do that?
No, ma'am.
Did you look through your phone at all to check texts and figure out what you'd done on those last few days?
No, ma'am, I wasn't worried about that. I was worried about my daughter.
You were worried, actually, because you know that the detectives are looking at you or Lindsay Partin. It's one of you, correct?
Correct.
And so you lied to the police about your whereabouts on the last night of Hannah's life, correct?
Correct.
You lied about who was present with Hannah.
Correct.
And then all of a sudden, now you know, oh my gosh, my friend Chris was over the last night my daughter was alive in my house, and now I remember that I drove him to Fairfield. Is that what you're telling this jury?
Yes, ma'am.
That's what you're telling this jury.
Jason recalled the morning that Hannah collapsed. When the prosecutor asked about the father and daughter, he got emotional. But the defense attorney also wanted to point out the inconsistencies in this testimony.
You don't specifically recall telling Detective Lambert that you were driving to the shop located at the end of Shank Road when Lindsay called him to respond back to the house due to Hannah not breathing?
No, ma'am. It was right after I started my truck.
And Lindsay calls you at 7:00 and 47 seconds, correct?
Yes, that's the phone call I missed.
And just like you told Detective Lambert, you were on your way to the shop when Lindsay called you, correct?
I was in the middle of starting my truck when I missed that first call.
That's not what you told Lambert.
That's what happened.
Are you telling this jury that it only took you 1 minute and 17 seconds to get down to your truck, drive around to the barn, get to the truck, get out of your car, and get into the truck and turn it on? That's what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. The shop's not that far from the house.
And you had left the truck running?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall that?
Yes, ma'am.
So if other witnesses say nobody ever went and turned your truck off, either the truck ran all day long sitting in the back of Smith Construction's pole barn?
I don't know how to answer that. I'm not sure who shut the truck off or if anybody did shut the truck off because I never went back down to the truck.
So if nobody shut the truck off,
Then it ran
you
all
didn't
day
start
long.
your truck, correct?
Oh, I definitely started my truck. It was running when I was down there.
Why didn't you take your truck then? You
Because-
just got a call that your daughter is unconscious.
Yes.
You're telling me that you have the wherewithal of getting in your car because what if I have to go to the hospital? I'm going to need my car. You didn't just jump in that truck. You just started it put that thing in reverse and hightail it up the street. Come on, are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. I didn't call her back until I was in my car. And that truck's a diesel, so you can't just start it and take off like that. I was in my car when I talked to her again, and I put it in drive, and I went back to her house.
The reason you didn't take the truck is because you didn't have the truck started, correct?
No, ma'am. That's false.
The toddler's father had also told Lindsay and police that Hannah had had an aneurysm.
You believe that the medical condition for Hannah was an aneurysm. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what you told Ms. Partin, isn't it?
Yes, that's what I thought it was.
Okay. And did you tell her that both at Fort Hamilton Hospital as well as when she was down there for the evening at Children's Hospital?
Yes, ma'am.
You sat with Lindsay for a period of time at the hospital, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that when you told her about the aneurysm?
Lindsay?
Yes.
No, that was my assumption. Nobody said aneurysm. When the EMTs took her, they told me it looked like she has blood on her brain.
Lindsay's team also showed photographs of his untidy and dirty apartment, where Hannah slept on a mattress. Every surface of the room was covered with clothes, toys, and uneaten food. Another point of contention was Jason's GoFundMe campaign after the toddler was hospitalized. Since he had not paid for childcare, how the funds were intended to be used was questioned. On the 7th day of the trial, Lindsay Partin took the stand, a move that experts would later say was a big mistake.
Lindsay, did you cause harm to Hannah Wesche on March 8th?
I did not.
Did you cause harm to her on March 6th?
I did not.
Did you cause harm to her on March 7th?
I did not.
Why did you tell the police that you did?
Because I wanted to protect everybody.
And what do you mean by I wanted to protect everybody?
In the first interview, I felt like it was all about TJ. I mean, they even asked me if I was an abused wife, if he was abusing me. And I cared about Jason. I didn't want anybody to be in trouble. They didn't care what I had to say. I felt pressured. I felt forced. I wanted to protect everybody. I felt bullied.
Did you lie to the police?
I told them what they wanted to hear.
The jury deliberated 12 hours before delivering their verdict.
As to count 1 of the indictment, we, the duly impaneled jury, do find the defendant Lindsay Partin guilty. As to count 2 of the indictment, guilty. As to count 3 of the indictment, guilty. As to count 4 of the indictment, guilty. As to count 5 of the indictment, guilty. And finally, verdict form 6. As to count 6 of the indictment, guilty.
Lindsay Partin was sentenced to life in prison with a possibility of parole after 18 years. In September 2020, she appealed the conviction but was unsuccessful. Then, in March 2021, the Ohio Supreme Court declined to hear the case, effectively exhausting Lindsay's immediate avenues for appeal. But the woman is still adamant that she was wrongfully convicted. A Facebook page called Lindsay Partin is Innocent has over 1,000 members. In December 2022, a link to the Ohio Innocence Project was posted with the caption, "We can't wait to get here with Lindsay." The page highlighted potential issues with the police investigation and handling of the case. Inconsistencies in Jason Wesche's testimony and his initial failure to disclose certain details to investigators suggested that the situation might be more complex than initially presented. The page also believes Lindsay was coerced into giving a confession. According to an interview with Metro, the babysitter said,
They promised me that they would not separate me from my babies, but they were ripped from my arms and taken into another room.
In the interrogation room, Lindsay said detectives gave her different scenarios of what could have happened. She told the reporter that it was impossible to truly focus on what they were saying as her daughter was in hysterics and felt it would be easier to go along with it. Other than messages of support for the convicted killer, there have been no further updates. As it stands, the Ohio Innocence Project hasn't taken on the case. On April 18, 2022, Dawn Lewis told dispatchers that she had stabbed Glenn Richards in self-defense.
Ambulance, is the patient breathing?
Hello, hello.
Hello, is the patient breathing?
No, I don't know. I haven't touched him.
Okay, what's the address of the emergency, please?
Street.
In what town or city?
In Glastonbury.
Okay, and I just need you to repeat that address for me so I know I have it right.
Street.
Okay, what number? Okay, just tell me exactly what's happened.
Right, I don't know really what happened. He's a lodger. I wanted him out.
Yeah.
I said no. I went to the door. He stabbed me in the leg. I took the knife off him. I stabbed him. He fell down the stairs. I stabbed him again because he was trying to take the knife off me. And he's there. I've called you.
Okay,
like
all right.
5 minutes, and he just looks like he's breathing.
But was that the case? To understand how it reached this point, we have to go back to when they met. 54-year-old yoga teacher Dawn and 61-year-old former police officer Glenn became fatally intertwined when Glenn, who had served time for the manslaughter of his wife in 2001, moved into Dawn's cottage. They had met at a charity shop where the man worked before losing his job. He was released from prison in 2011 and eventually moved into council housing. A year before the incident, Glenn moved in. According to Dawn, their relationship quickly deteriorated after the 61-year-old proposed marriage for pension benefits, despite her being gay and in a relationship. His behavior became intrusive and aggressive. When police arrived, they arrested the 54-year-old, but as the trial unfolded, a different story emerged. Evidence suggested premeditation on Dawn's part, including conversations where she spoke of killing Glenn and making it look like self-defense. The jury had to sift through a web of lies and truths. Her self-inflicted wounds and her own words ultimately led to her conviction. After a tense trial, Dawn Lewis was convicted of murdering Glenn Richards and sentenced to life imprisonment, with a minimum of 20 years behind bars. For more True 911 calls, watch this episode next.